Hey guys, it's almost 5 till, so I figured I'd come on and I'm going to get the lighting situated here. That's a little better. Hi Lisa Elaine. And I thought in the 5 minutes too, I would share what I found at the thrift store. One thing we found at the thrift store I can't show, but we're going to benefit from is a hardwire cable for my laptop. So it's connected to the modem in the other room. So I have hardwire. So maybe I won't fall off tonight. But then I got a dress, which I posted a picture on Facebook, but I'll show you real quick. I got a dress for my niece, Abby, and her and her baby sister love to do dress up. So I find them dresses like this. And I got it for $3.25. It's got the tie in the back. And my mom just lets them play in these. Because I pick them up for next to nothing. And she said it makes it fun for the little girls to be able to dress up. Which Abby's shortly going to be a teenager. So, but I thought for $3.25, that wasn't a bad deal. And then I found something to add to my tub for 79 cents. And I actually picked up 2 of these because I thought I might mail one to Mark Muir because he's trying to gather up stuff for his own mixed media mashup box of fun. So I don't know if this is something he would enjoy using, but I thought you could roller paint on and get all these beautiful dots. I don't know what this stuff is. It's like a laminated rubber, almost like a mat, but it's really stiff. So I'm going to add that to my tub of stuff, and I got a piece for Mark. I'm going to stick that in an envelope and mail it to him. I always find things like this, sheet protectors for $1.79. So I got that, and we didn't go yesterday, so we didn't get our additional 25% off. But that's okay. I thought this was a really good deal for 79 cents. It's muslin, and it looks like a really big piece. Scott and I hate this tape the packing tape they put on these. I want to see how big this piece is. It looks pretty big. Yeah, it is. Let's see. It's about 2 yards. About 2 yards of fabric. Yeah. It's a good weight. Hi, Mark. Mark, did you see the thing that I picked up? I picked up 2 of them so I could send you one if you like it. It's just something you could do as a recycled piece stamp. So if you'd like this, I'll send it to you. What else did I get thrifting today? I got these 3 spools of thread for 79 cents, which when I do my quilting, when you're piecing, you can use any kind of thread because nobody's going to see the piecing thread anyway. So I just use any color I have on hand. I'll send it to you, Mark. I'll get with you later on Facebook to get your address. I think I still have it, but I'm not 100% sure. I picked up some Christmas trim, which, it's not going to be long and we'll be doing Christmas projects. It was 79 cents. Actually, some of this I think was cheaper. This is just 1 yard strips of 4 different fabrics for 79 cents. And I love these things. They're for nail work to do nails, but I like them for crafting because they've got the little wedge on one end and the little point on the other. And then the last thing I got today, which I think these are so blippin' cool. Let's see. These will go in my tub of stuff. These are flashcards of landmarks. And I thought I could use them in art if the kids don't want them. But aren't they beautiful? And it tells you this is Kuwait City Towers. These are water towers in Kuwait. And I think we've all seen that in magazines and stuff. Uluru in Australia. But this is St. Basil's Cathedral. And it's just beautiful postcards, basically. I thought how fun these would be. And I got these for 79 cents. So that's just my little Goodwill haul for today. So let's see who all's in the house. I think I saw Melissa in here for a minute, and Ian and Lisa and Susan Baker and Janet and Ian and Kendra and Mark and Lisa Swank. So we've got 3 Lisas in the house, I think. Thank you, Janet. So I called this our From the Tub Painty Papers. And if you've gone around your house and found some things to paint with, awesome. If you want to share what you found in your house to paint with tonight, feel free to. But I'm going to use the stuff I went over last night in my tub of stuff. I've got the placemat and then all that other stuff that I showed last night. So I thought we would do that first. I'm also going to do the paste paint using laundry starch. But I don't want to start doing that just now. I want to wait till about 8 o'clock my time to start that, simply for Tanya to have time to get in here, because she had a late doctor's appointment. I might have to put Tippy out real quick. I have gone through and pulled out some graph paper, and I tore some of the tracing paper in half, and I got some of the ledger paper tore apart so that I can decorate the backs. Off to the side over here, I have my glass cutting board to put paint on. I also have the stack of Painty Papers that I want to do color on the back with journaling spots left. So I've put my Post-its down, so when I apply paint, I'll have areas where no paint goes, so that after we're done, I can peel these away. Do not jump up. And I'll have little pieces of Painty Paper for small projects, all that Post-it paper. These just came out so cool. This is where I rolled off yesterday. So that's what I'm going to do here. Honey, I've got paint mixed up. You cannot come up right now. Do you want to say hi? And I'm going to put you outside. Come here. Come here. All right, I'm going to let you say hi to everybody, and then you have to go outside. Here's Tippy. He just wants to say hi real quick. Hi, Jerry. This is my boy. This is Tippy. Yes, I'm wearing the same dress I had on last night because I didn't do anything. So, Tippy, they're all saying hi. So now you're going to have to go out with your brother and sister for a while, okay? He's like, I want to play in the paint. Everybody said hi to you, okay? I'm going to put them back down on the table. And then I'm going to take and put Tippy out real quick. Come on, buddy. Come on. I know you like to be where Mama is, but you got to go outside right now. Okay? You go play. Start training, I'll come get you. Right now, go play. So, now, hopefully, with my thrifted find of a new cable, we won't get disconnected tonight. So I'm going to set these back off to the side, and we'll just start playing. If anybody has any, yeah, if Tippy or any of the three cats I have here hear my voice, that's where they want to be. So if anybody has questions, if you put them in capitals in the chat, it's easier for whoever's doing a live. So off on the floor, I have a section of a shower curtain to put paper on so I don't get paint on my sister-in-law's wooden floor or the rug. So I've just put a clear shower curtain down, and I'm going to utilize that for the wet paint. So I just got an array of different paints. I'm just going to grab something out of the tub. Let's see. All right, I'm going to pull out my glass coasters that I found for next to nothing at the thrift store. These are glass, but they're tempered glass. And if you, and Linda T's in the house, but she says she's going to be lurking while she eats dinner. That's fine. I'm going to put just a little paint on here, 2 different colors. And then I'm going to smoosh them. Maybe if I can, oh, good Lord. That's a lot of paint. I'm just going to smush some of that off on my other pad over here for right now. I'll come back to that in a minute. I'm just going to put these together and turn it. And then if you get it at an angle, then you can pull it apart and see you get those little veiny things. And then when you set it down on your paper and lift it back up, you'll get those veiny things too. So it looks like brains. And remember, what I'm going to be doing is layering. So I might put some of this on and set them aside, let that dry on a couple of them. You can also just keep printing with it until no more paint will come off. You can go over here and pick this paint back up and use it. I'm probably going to be covered in paint before this night's over. Pick up the rest of this with this. Maybe bring this sheet back. And this is tempered glass. I'm just saying that repeatedly so people know that you got to have tempered glass. You don't want just the glass out of your picture frames, because that's not tempered and it could break and hurt you bad. If you get a piece of tempered glass, you're pretty safe. And you get these really cool looking brain prints. And we're going to layer on top of these. All right, I'm going to set these over on the thing. Just to start, I'm just going to do kind of like a sampling of the stuff in my basket. So I'm going to just set those aside. We'll get another couple pieces of the graph paper. And let's see, what do we want to do next? Maybe do this flower. We'll put a little of this paint. I don't even worry about if I mix the paint colors up at this point, because I'm going to be doing layers. Just kind of spread it around. And this is a cookie press that I got on clearance at Walmart. I see you now. What do you need, Miss Melissa? Congrats to PJ and Carrie. I looked at their wedding pictures. Looks like you all had a really nice day together. I said that you were in the house earlier. I saw you when I first came on, and then you kind of disappeared in the chat. Oh, you're eating wedding dinner leftovers? Might as well eat it up, right? Never let food go to waste. That's a sin, letting food go to waste. So I'll set this aside. I should have brought a bucket of stuff to put these in, but I'll soak them afterwards. And this thing came with 3 different things. Here we go. That made the flower. This makes kind of a mermaid scale. So let's put some blue out on the paper, or not paper, on my glass cutting board. And the glass cutting board I got at the thrift store for just a couple bucks. That's right. Too good to toss out, that's for sure. And it might look like I'm not getting it fully covered, but again, it's all about the layers. Uh-oh, you know what I did? I didn't do my ghosty prints, so we'll just do them off the page. Uh-oh. Oh, Lisa Elaine, I'm sorry you have a bad headache. Headaches are no fun. When I was managing, I have migraines so bad. The best thing I ever did for my health was to quit working. I'm trying to get the paint off the edge. I'll soak all of these in some nice soapy water later. And this one is just diamonds. I had to pull it back away from my face to see what it was there for a minute. And I keep forgetting to clean off on my clean off paper over here. I need to do that. We'll put some sea breeze out. Exactly. If you just utilize what's in your house, that's why I encouraged folks earlier today to just go around their house and maybe the garage. Just don't let on that you're heading there for art supplies, and the husband never has to know. Of course, Scott would probably give me anything, he thought I could use in the garage. That's just how he is. But some guys are possessive of their stuff. I just love these things. I paid $1.50 for this thing with the three stamps and the little handle thingamajig. It was in the clearance section, and I said, yes, ma'am, that's mine. I'm going to take that home and add it to my bucket of stuff. I'm just kind of letting it fall. All right, let's clean up on our clean off paper so that we can get it decorated before I forget. See how I'm just stamping off on it? And I'm going to do layers on this as well. And then when I peel the Post-its off, there'll be journaling spots on the back of this piece of painty paper so that when you put it in a journal, if you use it in a journal, you'll have places that you can write easily on the back side. So I just love these things. I wish I'd picked up a few more. I think I gave some away in my last giveaway, another set. I picked up 2 sets. From now on, I'm going to keep track of it. All right, and I'll just set this aside and we'll add some more. There we go. So let's see what else we got in here. Melissa, you must have just been gone to fill your plate while I was saying welcomes to everybody. And this is something I showed last night, and Janet noticed that Tanya had something similar, but hers was still in a circle shape. I just chopped mine up so I'd have a variety of shapes just to add shapes on. And I just put a little paint out and dip it in just like I did that other. And see, it's picking up some of the blue-green I had on the page as well. And so if you print once and you just lift it up and lay it down again, you'll get a lighter print if you wanted to do that. Oh, now Howard's at the door. Howard is another cat, you guys. Howard goes to the vet on Friday for his shots. He just doesn't know it yet. So that's the pot holder things that you can get at the dollar store. But I just chopped them up because I wanted a variety of shapes. And so if you have a variety of shapes, like I could do this all in this print, but let this dry, then take a different piece with a different color and add it on, and it really gives you a cool effect. So we might do that in a bit. I'll save them off to the side and let this dry. Let me go see what Howard wants. Shh, he'll hear me. He's a pretty low-key guy. Oh, they're all here. Okay, come on, kids. One. Ellie, you coming? Tippy, you go stay there. Howie wants the light on. He can't see to eat, you know. Here you go, sir. I pulled the scratching thing out from under the couch earlier, and Callie's taking a turn on that. And Howie's gone to the kitchen to eat, but of course I have to go to the kitchen and turn the light on for him so he can see his food. They're not spoiled, not at all. All right, let's use my yoga mat stuff. These were all made with a yoga mat that I just chopped up and glued pieces down. I have another flower in here somewhere. Somewhere. I don't see it now. There it is. And so these, because I do have them mounted on just cardboard pieces, I use a makeup sponge to apply the paint to them. And I got a variety of shapes and things. The ones I use the most are these two flowers. I'm just putting some paint out over to the side where I can dab into it. And then you just get a light, this looks like a tread mark. And if you layer this up as well, it looks really cool. You just have to work kind of quick or the paint dries. And I do not wash these. I just let the paint build up on them because they're on cardboard, and that would not be pretty. Did everybody see the notifications I put in groups I tried to do a scheduling, and it gave me the opportunity to share it in groups. So I was just wondering how many people saw those notifications or those announcements. I find yoga mats at the Goodwill clearance all the time, and I scrub them down with a Clorox mixture and then chop them up. Scott's used old yoga mats for his toolbox liners too, because basically it's the same stuff as that toolbox liner for mere pennies compared to that stuff you buy to put in a toolbox to keep your tools from sliding around. And this is just the first layer. I will be layering these up just like everything else. So there's that one. Let's do a flower. Callie's taking a turn on the digger again. And you can see where I put a different color paint in the center. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. And I just cut around this one to make it easier for me to get, pick it back up. Oh, the chat's disappeared again. There we go. Hi, Ruth Lamb. Hi, Danny. Hi, Lisa again. And Deborah. You got notification, but you don't know where it came from. That's all right, Ian. You're here. That's all that matters. I saw your most recent painting that you posted. That's gorgeous. Of the boat by the town. I told my husband, I said, look at this. Ian does the most beautiful paintings. He said, that is beautiful. We went to Pizza House in Traveler's Rest today because Scott had to go pick up his new glasses. And he always gets the Greek salad with this grilled salmon on top. And I just wasn't that hungry today. All right, Howard. No. You're not going to do that now. Come on. Oh, all right. He sticks his head through the blind and rests his chin on the blind. He's such a little monster. I saw them, Mark. Those were great. You're right. You're right on track. Just use what you have and just cover the paper up with paint, and it's a painty paper. I just decided tonight that this would be just painting from what I have in my bin of stuff, my tub of art that I've just collected from, things around the house, repurposed things. I thought it would be fun to do up paper. Now see, this would be fun to do. Let this purple dry and then use these same ones with a different color until you had the whole thing covered in flowers. And then we could come back in. I have a little bee rubber stamp that I love to use. I could just put little bees on here and call it done as a painty paper. So I'm going to set this aside now. And I think I'll stamp some flowers on this piece of, stamp some of these flowers off to try to use up some of this purple paint. Oh, we have a Yolanda Jones. Hello, how are you today? Stop it. Next, she'll be the one that wants to go outside because I'm busy. But then they'll all be back outside. They just had to come see what I was doing. They're probably going, oh, she's live. If cats could only talk. Scott said he wishes he could attach a GoPro to Tippy when we're gone and then see where all he goes. I think he goes over to this farm that's kind of behind us because sometimes he'll come home smelling like a stable, like he lays down with the cows and chickens. See if I can get one more flower out of this. Then we'll do something else. This is really saturated with purple paint. Let's see. Let's put the flower here. There we go. And see, that one's starting to fill up, and I'll set that one aside to dry now too. I think I'm going to pull something out we've already printed on because it's when you lay them out single, they dry quickly. And see, this one's dry. And this one's dry-ish. This one's still a little wet here and there, but I'm going to go ahead and add something else to this. This is just, let me throw this, I've got a jug of water here that I'm just going to throw my sponges in. This was the foam that Scott had cut a piece. It's just packing foam. He'd cut a piece to stabilize the air conditioner. This end is getting a little stiff with paint, which is fine. It'll give you a different effect. So let's see, what color would be good with this? Let's do pink. Is this pink? It's magenta. I have a flip-flop in my tub. I'll pull it up here in a minute. I'm just trying to use a variety of what I've got. And because this is a sponge that's got little holes, you get a funny little airy looking square. This would almost be good as a final add, but that's okay. We've already started adding it to this, so we'll just keep adding it. Hopefully Callie doesn't have paint, but you can see it makes a kind of airy square. Let's add some on here as well. And depending how hard you press, you can get some dark spots. It's just another thing to use. And I thought I'd just share from my tub. I'm going to put some of these over on this piece I've got my Post-its on. All right, set that aside. Let's pull this back up and choose a different color. That I don't worry with setting in. So this is dry. I'm going to do some brighter orange, I think. She was like, Mom, what are you doing? If you use a sponge on these, you get a better where it stays just on the upper part and you don't get blobs. But it's faster if you just dip it in and then down. And see, it's picking up some of the pink that was on my glass mat. Now I'll stamp some off on this piece of paper I'm wanting the back decorated on, so I can kill two birds at once, one art project. Use up the paint that's on the table. And when we get done, we'll just go through all the papers and see what we got. I'm just going to set this off to the side because it'll only take a minute to dry. And I got some of that old vintage tracing paper and tore it in half as well. Now, I was told by Rose that it will wrinkle, but then other people said, go ahead, send me the wrinkled stuff. So we're gonna do some of this up. And we'll see what we get. Yeah, it won't be long, and flip-flops and things like that. I know Joann's, they get like bunches of them, and so does Michael's. And at the end of the season, the flip-flops will be next to nothing. I've got a flip-flop here. And if you look at the bottoms of your flip-flops, they all have a different pattern on them. And if you include the toe piece, you'll get a circle. I don't know that this is going to show up on this tracing paper, but we'll try. And you can see it does just a little light brick pattern. And again, it's all about layering. So I'm going to save this and let it dry, and we'll layer some more. And it is curling pretty bad, so we'll see what we get. We'll stamp a little of this off on our other project here. And if you don't worry about having a completely clean wherever you're putting your paint, you'll get a variety as well. You'll start picking up the others. Let me get a different kind of paper. I just wanted to do some of this graph paper real quick. We'll stamp these off, and then I'll put another color down. And you don't have to put a whole bunch of color down. Hi, Linda Scott. I have lost track of how many Lisas and Lindas we have in the room, but we have a bunch of you guys. You should start the L Club for Lisas and Lindas. Because there's a lot of you gals out there. And if you turn your paper, you can get some going in the opposite direction. If I could like get a hold of the paper, that would be awesome. This flip-flop would almost give you lines that you could write a secret message in it. And in no time at all, if you just kept doing the flip-flop with different colors, you'd have a really cool background for Painty Paper. I do suggest letting it dry between colors. I'm getting where I can't reach what I threw down earlier. It might be cool to put some flip-flop pattern on this with the flowers. Kind of looks like somebody stepped on it now. I'm going to have to put Miss Callie out because she's getting in the paint over here on the floor. So yeah, so flip-flop works good. Let me toss my little one out the front door here. You want to go out? Everybody's came in and got a snack. You stay out of the street. Let's pull this one back and we'll do a different. I'm going to throw that flip-flop back down in the box. It just takes up too much room. So we did that one. Let's do this one here. There's Linda Marill. I know, Lisa's and Linda's are all in the house. But we love you guys. Thanks for being here. Let's see, we want something that'll show up. I think I'll do, let's add some purple now. I seem to be on a purple kit. Sorry, guys. And I got way too much out. I brought a stack of sponges so that I could and it, of course, it depends on how much of it you cover in paint too. The L team, that's right. Yeah, once these are good and dry, we'll see how much we get done, because I do want to show you all the paste paper. Starting at 8 o'clock, we'll switch to that, because I want Tanya to be able to see that, because it is so easy to do, you guys. And you can get the Elmer's art paste, but from what Barb Owens was saying, it takes a good bit to mix that up, because it comes in a powder form. And if you just use liquid laundry detergent, you're just mixing liquid to liquid, so it doesn't take as much work. So this is looking pretty cool. Let's set it down over here. Oh, I want to print some of this off on my spare sheet over here as well. I'm trying to decorate the Post-its too, because after I peel them off, there'll be an additional Painty Paper that I can use. We might put a little bit more of something on there, but I'm going to set this aside to dry right now. If you're planning to, if you want to do paste paper, you need either the Elmer's, it's called Elmer's Art Paste, which is a powder form, or I use this Faultless liquid starch. You can get this at any grocery store, has it in the laundry detergent section. And it doesn't cost all that much, just a couple dollars for all of this. And you get 2 ounces of the powder that you have to mix up. And I don't know how much the 2 ounces makes. I think it makes a huge jug, from what Barb Owens said when she did her video. But if you want to just do liquid to liquid, I've used this before. It makes really cool paper. I'll share that in just a little bit. Let's get a couple more pieces of this decorated. All right. I'm going to use these. This is just the little connector pieces of PVC pipe. And you can get them for just a few, less than $1 each. All right, I hate to do this, but I got to go to the little girl's room. I'll be right back. Hi, Ray. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. You want a piece of this, Linda Scott? I'm going to go back to a Dollar Tree, not the one I went today to get foam brushes because they're so picked over. I'll go to the one out in Travelers Rest, and I'll look for some silicone pot holders and see what I can find. So let's do just random circlage here. And I'm just going to put out some little circles of paint over here. I've got some metallics, so we'll do some metallics. This one's just about empty. How rude. I'm putting a circle out for each size of circle. A circle for each circle. So I'll do the big circle with this yellow. And anything round you can do circles with. Like if you have toilet paper rolls or any of that. And when you're adding circles to a page, go off the side. So you have half a circle on, and that expands how far you've gone. I'm going to do this one in the green that I printed off. Not printed off, but dumped out. And just overlap your circles. You don't have to necessarily cover the whole piece of paper with color for it to be painty paper. At least not in my book. I don't know about the rest of you, but uh-oh. Brenda Price is here. Melissa says, put your adult beverages. Hide them, hide them. Hee hee hee. And we'll just use what I have just a little bit of. And if you like matchy, you can take the time to do like just all shades of green if you want to. I think this one I'm going to set aside to dry, and I might come back and add some different colors. Or I might just leave it just like this, because that looks pretty cool. I've got to walk this over so I can put it farther away from me. All right, this one's dry. That one's not, and it's stuck together now. The paint seems to take a little bit longer to dry on this tracing paper as well. Problem I'm going to have when we do paste paper is I don't think I have enough room to do too many at a time. I'm picking up ones I printed before that I want to add some more to. All right. I think I'll add some circles to this one. I was going to ask you, Mark, about the skull that you had in your Painty Paper collection, where that was from and how you made that. So it was like a Halloween decoration? That was so cool. Melissa's down here, not too far from me, about isn't it about a 4-hour drive from me here in Greenville area? One of these times I want to go up to Cheap Joe's and go shopping. Maybe next time I get a little check from YouTube, and I might drive up there. I would have to get up early and go. All right, let's add some circles to this one in the greens. I think Mark's right on the ball. I think he's good to go. If we just send him a few more things to expand his repertoire, he'll be doing great. Probably picked up some of that yellow on the back of my sheet, but that's okay. Let's add some of this metallic green. I was binge watching, what's it called? Midsummer's Murders. Is that the name of that show? And I noticed that the actor, I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, that played Drop Dead Fred, he was in an episode of that before he passed away. I love British TV. I could watch BBC shows every day, all the time. So that looks pretty cool. We might add some other dots and stuff to that and just make that just a various dot page. All right, this one I've already started messing up with circles, and I'm almost used up my paint on this green. And the thing about it, when you start using up the rest of your paint, you don't want to use it. If you just roll it, you get lines, little narrow lines. You can clean that out with a wet one if you want to. I don't generally clean them. They just get fatter circles. I'll stamp some of this off on my cleanup paper over here. That'll do some of this. Mary's in the house. Hi, Mary. You must have floated up. There you are. And is it Frana is in the house? We've got a lot of new people in here. That's awesome. Welcome. I've just about used up the copper paint that was here. And my clean off paper with my Post-its in place is getting full too. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of cleanup paper. Well, let's use up some more of this yellow first. And I'm just going to lay it on my palette and see how much of the paint I can pick up from my palette. Maybe put some on my cleanup paper as well. Uh-oh. Went rogue there for a minute. There we go. And these little Post-its that I've left on here to create journaling spots on the back side of a Painty paper, they're going to be fun to use too, because I've got a bit of every little technique I've used on these. So I'm going to set this one aside and leave it just like that. Maybe we'll roll this along, see what we get, make a mess with it. Might have to start throwing things back in my bucket. All right, let's put these back in the bucket now. I mainly just want to show you a little bit of everything. This is the grill cleaning sponge. It's got like a sponge on the back side and then the scrubber bit on this side. And when you use it, like if you use the scrubber side, you can see it just picks up little dots of paint so that when you put it down, it's just really minute little, fun little specks. Let's set this aside to dry. And we'll pull this back out. Let's pick up some specks and stick them on here. Remember, when you're doing these painty papers like this, turn your paper so things go in a different direction. And that way you'll get a variety of positions of dots and stuff. And it won't look so uniform. You'll get more randomness. And see, it's just tiny little specks of paint. Okay. All right, I'm going to take my cleanup paper that I have over here. See, it's just the back of a painty paper I did yesterday with the joggle stamps. Those things were a lot of fun. And I'm just going to lay this on my palette and smoosh it. We'll get some smush bits on here. And that'll clean up my palette, and I've got smushed bits. So I didn't do this side. We can put a little paint down, and I'll show you what this side will do. It's more airy because this is real squishy foam. So you'll get a whole different effect with the squishy foam. It makes blobs. It picks the paint up differently than the scrubby side. So if you just wanted a little bit of a scrubby, grungy look, that's what the sponge side will do for you. So let me see what we've got here. I'm just going to peel a tape piece of this off. No, you don't peel it. You have to cut it. I got this at the clearance. This is a drywall tape that's got dots. And I was thinking how fun this would be to just use it as a stencil. But then after it's been used as a stencil, it will be decorated too because you've put paint through it. Hi, Juno63. Painty paper is a lot of fun, and you get messy. I talked with my mom today, and she said that my little niece, Madeline, who's going to be 4, not too much longer, I think, she likes to watch Aunt Becky because she wants to see for the kitty cats. See how cool that looks? And this is the kind of stuff I find while thrifting. But if you know a builder and they've got some that's been, you know, at the end of a roll, maybe they just give it to you. This is looking very camo with this green. And depending on how much paint you put down, you'll get a different levels of dots. I think that looks pretty cool. I love that little dot. That is really, I really like that. We need our page of dots back, and we'll add some of these. It's probably not dry yet, but our page of circles, let's add some of these little dots. Hopefully I can put some little dots down and pick it up before the tape sticks in the wet paint that's on there. Uh-oh, it shifted a little, so those won't be as pretty. And this tape is getting soggy, so that's something to keep in mind. If you're going to use some of this, your ability to work with it probably will not last very long. When we went to Pizza House earlier today for salads at lunchtime, the little coffee shop that hadn't even been open all that long has already closed. But I was telling Scott that they didn't seem to understand their own business, because anytime we would go by there wanting coffee, they weren't open. So that it's like they didn't understand coffee house mentality. I would most definitely be open early in the morning and late in the evening. So I would like open early in the morning, go home, have a siesta, and then go back and open up after dinner and have desserts and coffee available. And I would definitely be open every morning early for people that get up and are out and about. So this dot page, I'm really starting to like it a lot with more dots added. And we've got other things that are circle-minded that we could add some more of this. But I'm going to set this aside and let it dry, because right now it's really kind of wet. Let's set it back on the table. Is Michelle here? Michelle Helm. Hello from New York. What part of New York? Because I'm from upstate New York, near Binghamton. I've lived down here since 1982. So I went to high school. Oh, Mary Hill. Let me tell you, Mary Hill. Scott said every time you see Mary Hill, you tell her thank you for these slipper socks. He loves those things. Every day he slips them on. If he's listening, he might pop in and say, hi, Mary. But from the text I got from him earlier, he's having kind of a rough night. We've had a bad tummy today, and I think it has to do with the Little Caesars pizza we got yesterday. So that place is going to be off our list of places to go to. So let me. I want to keep the honeycomb stuff because I want to add a lot more layers of that. Let me just pull some things out. This is the jar opener. That's the netting that goes on shallots. I've got a wine cork. We've already used these, so I'm not going to use these again. And I'm not going to use these right now, but we'll use these with the paste paper. So I'm going to leave them out. We need to use that. Definitely want to use that. I'll use that. I want to use some of these foam stamps that I got at Hobby Lobby. Couldn't remember it for the life of me. So I'm going to pull those out. I've got my thread spool. I got a tape inside of a tape. There's another inside of a tape. I've got this circle thing that Scott brought me. Got that circle thing. We've already used the flip-flop. There's another arrow. Got this thing. We got these. These we're going to use later. The catalyst, we'll use them with the paste. And let's use that to make some lines. And we'll use the comb later. And I got some plastic canvas. So let me have, I'm going to leave one piece of the honeycomb stuff out. Put the rest of this stuff away. Hopefully it'll clean up okay later. All right. So I still have a stack of stuff that we can use. Yay! How big is my box? Oh my goodness. Let's see. This tub is, I think it's like a boot box, but it's 11 1/4 by about 16 inches, 11 by 16 by about 5 inches deep. I think it's actually called a boot box when you look for them in the storage section. And there's more stuff that I haven't even drug up here. So yeah, I'm going to lay this in a pile off to the side at my feet, and we'll just start grabbing stuff up and using it. It's 8 o'clock now, and I wanted to show the paste papers. So let's just see what some of this other stuff will do real quick. All right, we'll leave this up here for right now. Let's see. I just mainly wanted to give a sampling of what your household stuff can do on their own. And it just have to keep layering until you feel like it's full enough for you. Basically, wine corks. I can get a ton of wine corks from my sister-in-law, and you can get odd shaped little circles. This one's not perfectly flat. It's not a true cork. It's one of those plastic ones. So I'm not getting a perfect circle on it, but that's okay. It's just a little bit different. So that's what you get with that. I've got the tape thingamajig. This is out of the middle of cellophane tape. Yeah, it does seem like it's bottomless. I thought, oh, it'll take no time to show all of these different things. I was wrong. The cello tape roll makes a really nice circle. I really like this circle. And then there's like jar lids. I think this came off from Peanuts. Hopefully I won't send it flying onto the floor. That would be disaster. And it makes a thinner line than the tape spool will. I'm using different colors simply so you guys can see it, what you end up with. What else do I have up here? I've got this thing. This is just an empty spool from a sewing thread. I think this is the same color I used last time I used it, so it's hard for me to see. But see, with this, you get a cool wagon wheel. So don't throw your stuff out. Throw it in your bin of stuff to use as possible paint tools. Yeah, if I had room to do that, Janet, I would. The whole bottom of that would make a big rectangle. Is that what you're talking about? So that's these. Let's print some off on my paper print off thing. I'm going to chunk it back in my bin of stuff here. Pull this over here. Again, if you lay it on its side, you'll get little lines rolled off. Oh, yes. I understand now. Okay. Yeah, any of your jars. In fact, you could go in your kitchen and pull jars and cans out, even if they've still got food in them. Use them, wipe the bottom off, stick them back in the cabinet if you don't want to wait for them to get empty. Oh. Some of these I will revisit with more layers just so that they're got a good coverage on them. Now this one's not wanting to roll very good. Maybe if I put my finger on the inside and get paint all over me, it'll work. Using my finger. Get the paint out of the middle. Okay. Ooh, painty paper. Okay, painty fingers. We're going to set this one aside too. All right, let's see how much more we've got here. I really want to get the painty paper, the pasty papers going. Let me put some of this yellow on here. In some of the empty spaces. So repetitively, if you use the same thing out of your kitchen drawer or whatever, and just kept building up color, you can cover a whole sheet with the same tool and get a painty paper that looks really cool simply because you've used a whole bunch of different colors. This one's nothing but this matte. And if you have it cut up into little chunks, then you'll have different size chunks, and that'll add to the variation as well. Let's see if I can pick up some of this blue and just add it in here and there. But these are most definitely a lot of fun, and you can pick them up on sale and clearance at like Walmart has them. Dollar Tree, Dollar General, I think, had some too. But that's all done with the same thing, and you get a whole different, you get a painty paper, and it's all colored and covered in color with hints of the white still showing. But then you get the back, and it's graph paper that you can write on. If you've used graph paper, of course. I'm going to use this to pick up the remaining stuff on here. And I got a little bit of yellow. See, it just picks up the blobs of residue. And that's just one layer. All right, I'm going to throw that back in there. Let's use this thing real quick. Man, I got a lot of stuff. I wanted to like just go over all this stuff, but man, it's taking some time, a lot more time than I thought it would. That's okay. That's okay. We got time, right? Oh no, Rose is having thunder and lightning tonight. I had mine earlier when I was trying to watch Tanya when she was on. Has she shown up yet? Is she here yet? I was kind of holding off on the pasty paper until Tanya showed up. Anybody seen her? Went and covered what I wanted to do. Generally, when I use this thing, I like to use my roller or my brayer because it puts it on just the top. But this just makes little dots. Again, this is just a Dollar Tree find. Again, this will be something I go back and revisit my dot pages with. I just quickly want to show you what each one of these will do in case you want to run out and find them, or just keep an eye out in your kitchen. You might already have some of this stuff. Oh, I like how that picked up all the different colors that are on my palette over here. You just don't want to have a bunch of paint to dip this in, because what will happen is the holes will fill up. If you got just a light layer of paint, you can get a really pretty background going. And see, that's just the dots from this jar opener. And if you just kept layering it after they dry, you get really pretty layers. Okay. those are going to stick together if I don't move that. All right, I'm going to put these flowers aside, and I'll add more flowers later. I just want to use up some of this stuff. This was a insert in some kind of packing for a piece of electronics. I'm not going to use all of these. So let's stamp some of those out and see what we end up with on the back of this here. Hi, Eva. Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you got your journal back. Lisa got her traveling journal home today. That's awesome. You guys have been so speedy. The only group that's moving really slow is group 1 because we're having to mail over to Germany, but that's okay. We'll just take our time. It'll get back here. All of them will make it back. I think I've sent 3 across. I sent my own, Danny's, and I think I just mailed L.A. Richards over there. So this is just a recycled piece of foam from electronics. So if you get anything in the electronics and you don't want to keep every ounce of packaging, save some of the packaging in your box. This stuff is fun. Now this I'm going to have to do in a dark color to show as well. And I need a sponge. Let's use orange. Okay. I know she was going to the doctor, so I didn't know she was back from that. She had a really late appointment. I mean, my doctors, they all roll up. They're done and out of their offices by, 4 o'clock. And her appointment was like at 5:45 her time. I might have to dip this in paint just to get it to pick it up. Let's see what we get. See, it makes a creepy kind of Halloween webby look. And this was just packaging that we saved. I can't even remember what this came from. I think it came from my my red cart that I got from Harbor Freight. I like how this is picking up some of the olive green underneath. And see, if I just kept doing this over and over, let this layer dry and then come back with like blue and then let that dry and come back with yellow, it would look really cool in no time too. So the Painty Papers don't have to be just jelly prints. You can just use things repetitively until you get a layered surface like this. And I think that looks pretty cool. Yes, the little black thing that's now blue looks like a cupcake. That was the whole reason I saved it. All right, hopefully what I just dropped that on will last. This is the bag from the shallots. And I use this with a sponge. I might use that sponge that's there. And just use it like a stencil. I might have to put out more paint. Nope, I think I got enough. And it makes just a little grid. So the things your vegetables are packed in can make stencils too. Garlic comes in little bags. Shallots. Sometimes you can get fresh herbs come in little bags and things. And again, this is one I think I would just use this repeatedly until I was satisfied with the multi-layers of color that I put down. All right, so that's this. What else do we have? This is a piece of floral stuff. I'm going to set this aside. Let it dry. Hopefully nothing will stick together. And I'm just going to sponge on the back of this as well. I want it to go on the side that it'll lay the best down. I might use black on this just so it'll see. Tanya's in the house. Hi, Tanya. I saved the paste paper until you got here. So I'm going to finish up with what I have that I wanted to cover. Let's see if this will show. It's not as good as I'd like it to be. Ooh, now my hands are. I don't know how good that's going to work, but you see, you'll get the idea. There you go. You get veins. And this was like what do they call them? It's like a stem, and it had multis of this, and I cut it up and I sent some to some people, and so some other people already have this in their stash. But this was something from, I think, Michael's spring collection, or it might have been fall because it's silver. But again, if you did this repeatedly in different colors and just covered the whole back of it with just this, it would look really cool. And again, I'm forgetting to stamp off on my background I have over here that I want to get covered too. Trying to deal with my the backs of my paper I'd already done to leave post-it sections to journal. I keep forgetting to do it. It's easier if you're doing jelly printing and you just need someplace to roll off. So I'm going to set that aside. What else do we have on the floor? Oh, we got the funky little sponge thing. Let's see. Ooh, I'm green. This is the most organic I've ever been. If the plants would just listen to me, I have the ability to make them grow. Plastic canvas. We can do squares with this. So let's make some, of course, purple squares. Try not to put out so much paint, Becky. Good grief. And so far, we haven't dropped. I shouldn't say that. I'll jinx myself. Just do little squares. Plastic canvas. So if you did a lot of that in different colors, you could cover the whole back with that. I'm just going off on my Post-it notes over here. All right, so that's the plastic canvas. Then I've got this thing. It's got the sponge in the middle with the net wrapped around it. And it's getting really hard down here because it's packed with paint. But I don't care. I'm going to keep using it until it will not do anymore. Let's use up this black. Whoa, ew. Let's get that paint booger out of there. I think there's another one in it. Yeah, and I don't really have. Let's see here. And I'm just going to dip it in. And see, it makes speckles. And I got this at the Dollar Tree in the cleaning section. So check the cleaning section too for sponges and scrub brushes, nail brushes. You could dip a nail brush in paint and it would make little brush marks. This piece of background is going to be very grungy looking. And I've got the thing Scott brought me to make circles. This had resistors or something in it when he worked at Bose Corporation. He brought this home to me. Let's use this glue. We haven't used this yet. Oh my goodness gracious. I've done it again. Put way too much out. So what you have to do, ladies, is get your husbands trained to look for stuff like this when they're at work. And they'll bring home all kinds of stuff. I'm just dipping this into a pile of paint and tapping it off. So there's the back of another one of my things. I want to set it aside to dry. I'm trying to hurry so we can do the paste paper before it gets too late. Put some on this tracing paper too. That looks kind of cool. Tracing paper takes a while to dry and it curls. You might want to set it where it doesn't touch anything else. I'm running out of floor space. All right. And then all I've got left is a tape roll. The thing I made this with my Lancet stamp loss. I've got foam stamps, but I'm not going to get them dirty, I don't think, because I want to get started on the paste paper. So we're gonna skip around here and jump to do paste paper, I think. So if you've got liquid laundry starch and some paint, I'm going to show you how to mix that up real quick. I've already mixed up a bunch of colors, so I only have to show how to mix one and you'll know how to do it. I'm trying to pick up some of this paint with my tape thing. Doing circles. I'm not going to do that one either. This alone could make a really cool paper if you just did one color, let it dry, do this again in another color, and just kept doing it. That would be a cool paper too. So let me try to pick up this paint so I don't waste it. I stuck my arm in that. So we did a bit of thrifting, Mary. You'll have to watch the beginning of this later. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to get rid of my ledger paper and my tracing paper and get down to just some white paper. Then I need to make room because we're going to need a bunch of room over here. Whoa! Not like that, though, Beck. Let me pick up paper. I'll be right back with you guys. I'm stacking this up, hoping it doesn't stick together because I need every ounce of this shower curtain I have on the floor. for the next thing we're going to do. Need a lot of space for doing paste papers because you cannot stack them. They take a long time to dry, you guys, just so you know. Okay. And I'll add more to these other things later. Oh, dazzle, stop. I'm going to move this out of my way so that I can get in here. Past that. Okay, let's talk about how to mix this up real quick. You'll want, what I'm using is just recycled cups from Mott's Granny Smith unsweetened applesauce. Lisa, that sounds great. So that would be 2 p.m. Central would be my 3 p.m. I think. I can do that tomorrow, I do believe. So Lisa's talking about doing a painting session again with things in her toy box, which would be cool because then we could see what Lisa has in her toy box to expand our knowledge of using things in the house. So I looked this up today. And you just need a little cup. You don't need to mix up a lot of this. If you mix up a lot, you're going to have a lot on hand. So some type of cup. Janet mentioned the little tiny solo cups that are available at Dollar Tree. Those would be great for this. When Barb did hers, she recommended something with a lid because that way you could store your leftovers because it might look like a little bit, but when you mix this stuff up, it uses a lot of sheet of paper for a little bit of what you mix up. So unless you're planning a full day, don't mix up a bunch of this. Mix up just a little bit at a time. Okay. So in the bottom of this, you'll want to add about a quarter size glob of paint. So let's see. I have already mixed up 5 colors. I'm going to mix up another green because I like green. So I'm going to put like a quarter sized glob in the bottom, about that much paint. It's about a tablespoon of paint. That's all you need. Then you're going to add to that liquid starch. This is the Faultless liquid starch, but anything you can get your hands on would be fine. And you want a quarter cup or less. Remember, whatever you mix up, it takes a while to use it up. And what I do is where there's the Mott's logo is on the side, I just fill up to the bottom of that. I should have shook this, I think. That's okay. We'll make it work. Oh, and I needed a popsicle stick to stir this. Because you got to stir it up good. I thought I had one. Yes, I'm digging in the trash. Because I think I dropped it. Here we go. This is just a portion of a stick. But you just want to stir this up really good until it looks like your paint is just expanded on itself. So it looks all, you don't want streaks. You want to stir it up good. So stir it up good. And it's going to be kind of runny. And that's why it takes it a while to dry. And then for your own sanity, I would suggest having a foam brush for each color that you mix up. So I went up to the Dollar Tree and got a multi-pack of brushes just so I could have 6 of the 1-inch brushes. But you know, sometimes you can get them on sale for really cheap at Michael's. If you go during the Christmas sales and stuff, that's one of their loss leaders. So I've got some of this kind of, what do you call this? Lime green. I'll push these back so I can bring all mine up here. That's kind of sharp where the stick was broken. That's why I threw it in the trash. But I forgot to get another one out to do this. So I'm going to set that one aside. And then I've got purple. And because these have been sitting, I'm going to stir them because they develop a skin on top. Because I've mixed these up a lot earlier. So stir them up good before you start working. These are just the colors I've mixed up. They'll develop a skin on their top if you don't cover them, and I didn't cover these. Just think of it as added texture. Okay. One more. I mixed up 6 total colors. And this doesn't look like much, but this will go a long way. I learned that the hard way because I mixed up a bunch of stuff. So then you take a piece of paper and your foam brush. And I work with one color at a time and just layer it up. So I'm going to take this stir out of the pink and we'll just use this until we run out of paper. I'm going to stick that in my water. And you just paint it on with your foam brush. I didn't mix up a lot on purpose because I didn't want to be all night doing this. And you just spread this out. And it'll stay kind of workable for a little while because it's got the starch in it. Okay. Then you just grab one of your tools, whatever you have, a comb or whatever, and you can draw lines in it. See? I'm just wiping off on my pile of papers I have here. Oops. And then you just set this aside to dry, and you can add as many layers as you want. It makes it workable. It gives you time to work, so you can scrape designs into the paint, and it'll stay like that. But you have to have place for it to lay flat to dry. All right, let's do another pink page. The starch acts just like art paste, but it costs a lot less. It's almost like the paint has butter in it. That's what it seems like to me, and it gives you a surface to make designs in. If you do this on ugly scrapbook paper, you can kind of see the design underneath the painty, starchy stuff, and it adds another element. This one's a different one, and if you just do like this, you can get different designs in it. And then if you let that dry and then come back and put another layer on top, you'll get another layer. And it just looks cool in the end when it's dry, which these might not dry tonight. Okay, I don't think I can get to the ugly paper right at the moment. I'm going to switch and do yellow now because I want to save some of the pink for, additional layers on something. No, I'm not wetting the paper. I'm just using this. Just like this. Because it's a liquid. Why would I have to wet the paper? I did it when I made the others with Barb. Sure, you can make a suggestion. Huh. Yes, Barb Owens did paste paper. And she used art paste, Elmer's art paste. This yellow's not showing up very good. Oh, okay. Well, I generally use scrapbook paper, so it's already got a print on it, but I didn't dig any out. So I have white paper here. And what I was thinking I'd do is just let it dry and do another layer on top. You can do as many layers of this as you want. But I can dig out some scrapbook paper so y'all can see what it does better. I'll do that on the next one. Let me get to my box of scrapbook paper. So let's do this one. These cheapy brushes are not working as good as a little bit more expensive ones, but I just got a learning curve here, I think, on this. This piece is going to take a bunch of this stuff. All right, let's take this one here. This doesn't make a good enough show. I like this thing. It's just like Painty Paper. You can cut it up. You can use it as background. You can do whatever you can do with Painty Paper, you can do with paste paper. I'm going to bring this one back up and try to dry it with the heat gun a little bit and see if we can speed it up so y'all can see what it really does. Yes, you can do these for the swap too. That's fine. It's Painty Paper. Maybe mask out some areas like you did for the journaling spots, but not for journaling. For design. Yeah, that would work. I'll tell you in a minute, Lisa. When this stuff dries, it's not sticky. When it's totally dry. Getting crinkly. So what colors do you want me to put on top of the pink? Hi, Kelly. We're doing paste paper and Painty Paper. Green. Like I said, I did not mix up a lot of this. I did that because I didn't want to have a ton left over. So we'll go as far as each color will go, and then I will say I showed you all how to do it. And y'all can play and play and play. You don't want a real thick coat. You want it to be kind of thin and uniform because you're going to rock its world when you run a comb or whatever through it. All right, so now if we take and we go like this, you get that. That didn't go as well as I planned, but it's all right. It's all good. And you just keep layering it. And the layer before it peeks out from the next layer on top. See? So you get pink stripes, then green stripes. And then you can let this dry and add another layer. So I don't want to do another brown sheet. We'll set that aside. I'm going to do a green sheet. We'll drop some yellow on top of it. I think what Barb did when she did her video on this is she actually had stenciled some stuff down, if I remember right. It's been a while since I watched that video. So remember, don't mix up a lot unless you're planning to do it all day long. Just mix up a little bit. And it's like 4 to 1. 4 parts starch to 1 part paint. At least that's what I do, and it turns out. Let's do, and I know you probably can't see much of that, but as you get more layers on it, it'll be more obvious that you've done something to it. It really doesn't look like anything until you start adding layers. Go back and grab this other pink one and dry it some and see if we can add something else on top. Yeah, I was bored watching a show waiting for Scott the other night, and I just doodled him in the middle of the table. Him or her. She had jelly paper she added layers to, Ruth said. I knew she had something underneath it that she did it. But you can use, I'm using plain white paper and just to give it a go, and we'll see how it does. And I've got some scrapbook paper. I made some of these before with just ugly scrapbook paper. It looks really cool once you get about the 3rd or 4th layer down. It's a good use for liquid starch. Maybe we can save the liquid starch industry. What do you think? So you probably can't see my little swirly bits in there. There you go. I'm going to put purple on top of this one. When this is completely dry, there's no stickiness to it. I think I sent Mary some of my paste papers. I sent her a little piece of some that I made with Barb that day. I had a full-size shower curtain going on the floor just to have some place to stack it, because you can't stack it on top of itself. That was another reason I didn't mix up a lot, because I don't have a full-size shower curtain anymore. All right. So I think I'll use this bigger one and maybe go to diagonally so that some of the bottom will peek through. It's thick, you guys. Where the starch is in it, it's thick. So it's not like dragging it through just paint. When this dries, you'll be able to see the pink a little better underneath. And the different lines kind of show up under each other. This yellow one, I used the comb, so you can't really see the lines very well. I don't know if I have any of that paper I did before, but it makes it firmer. So that's why I was thinking this copy paper is going to be a little bit stiffer than just copy paper when I get done adding layers. But I think I had sent you some, Mary, in a Happy Mail. You can tell which ones it is because it has the lines in it. So you know what it looks like. And those all were made with just ugly scrapbook paper underneath. I think some had a snowman underneath it, if I remember right, and one had a red background with yellow flowers on it. That one turned out really cool looking. I don't think I have any left. I think it's all been used. Good reason to make some more, huh? This will almost give me a solid background. The starch does get, it'll start peeling when you get it on your hands, it'll peel. So it looks like skin when it comes off you. But once it's dry on the paper, it doesn't peel off. Okay. Excuse me. Woo. All right, let's use this screen. Oh, I had it. 1, 2, 3. I had 6 brush. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I was about to say, I know I bought 6 brushes. Please do a dark blue on top of the yellow. Oh, sorry, Janet. I didn't see it soon enough, but we can do dark blue over the next layer on this one. We'll save the dark blue to come back over this one. All right, so set this aside. Like I said, I didn't mix up a lot. Let's use a wider tooth thing this time. And let's see, I went that way. Well, that's not working to go that way. Let's try. When the starch starts setting up and stuff, you'll get these little dots. Just leave them because it looks really cool when it's dry. I'll show you what I mean. It's like you get a buildup. You see the little dot-like things? They look really cool when it's dry. Here's something that I used yellow before, but it's got the scrapbook paper in the background. We could put the dark blue over this. Texture, exactly. I'm not going to be able to do more than what I've already marked, already started on, if we're going to have multiple layers. So I'm not going to start a fresh sheet. I'll just keep drying these. What are you mice and menning? Oh, you're hoping to get to work on something tomorrow, Ruth? I'm hoping that it won't rain so I can finally mow the lawn here. It's getting so out of hand, but I can't mow it when it's thunder and lightning and wet. And today we got enough rain in the afternoon that the sub pump in the basement kicked on. And I like to hit some heat on the back of it just to get it to heat up some of that paint from the other side. All right, I'm going to do purple. I don't have much purple left. Let's see how much purple we can get on here. This might be enough for this sheet of paper. Yeah, we might can spread this out and get enough here. It's all about light layers, many, many layers to get a cool look. I've probably got too much paper done up to get enough layers on any of them to look cool, but we'll see what happens. I didn't want to mix up a lot and have it left to deal with. I don't know if y'all can see the layer below it. You can kind of see the waviness of it. So that's it of the purple. Let's and you can do one line this way and then do something down like that. One line this way, one like this, one like this, one like this. And then just set it to dry. And then you could do another layer on top of that and it would develop into something else. See, it's like a plaid now. Bye, Peg. All right. I'll dry this a little bit. All right, so what color to put on top? We've got pink, yellow, and lime green, blue, and kind of sea mist. How about yellow? Blue? Kelly's saying blue. I guess I can always mix up more if I need to. These look really good with about 6 different layers on them. I just didn't mix up that much stuff. But I have more product, so I guess I could if I need to. These aren't holding up. They've already popped through on the side. That's why I keep getting a line. The stick for the brush is coming out, peeking out on me. All right. All right. So I did a squirrely swirl that way. Let's see. But you can make patterns in it. Make it look like a basket weave. That's another place that you can find texturing tools is in the cake decorating department at Michael's or Joann's. I'm gonna switch to another piece of cleanup paper here. This one's got some of the kitty cat Post-its on it. Let's see, so I need to go. I've got myself all backwards here. I'll look up in just a minute. Let me finish my pattern because if I lose train of thought, I might wreck the pattern. All right. So see, you just keep adding layers and doing something just slightly different on top, and you can see the previous layers below it. It's just a buildup of the stuff. So you can kind of see the swirling underneath. Black and gold would be Mary's signature. Yes. So here's the blue that we did on the red and white dot thing. And like I said, this is the way I've done it. And y'all might have a different method that you might like to share with the community, and that's great too. We can all learn a little bit different techniques from one another. That's the beauty of it all, is we're just teaching one another different ways of doing the same thing. There's no real right way or wrong way. It's just your way or my way. And, you know, I might learn something from you that I want to implement into what I do. And I don't get mad or anything if you've learned a different way. That's fine. Please share so everybody can learn from one another. I got a little heavy-handed with the blue on this one. What do we, I just got some color shift, just first experience today. Love the black and gold. I really like that one, Becky. What is color shift? Color shift paint shifts between two colors. I have some on my cart. I've never done the yes paste myself. I didn't know there was a yes paste method, so I must have missed something along the way. Color shift is made by Folk Art, right, guys? Let's see if I can find. Give me just a second, you guys. I think all I have left in color shift. Oh, wait. No, that's color shift. I've got 3 of the color shifts. I have the black and gold, which it does just like this label. See how the label shifts from black to gold? That's what this paint does. And this one is the pink flash, and it does pink to orange, just like on the label, I think, on the top of this. And then this one does red flash, or is this one that does orange? This one does pink to purple. This does an orangish to a red. But I could maybe mix some of this up in one of my empty cups and we'll try that in a minute. We could do the pink flash in this cup. There's not too much of this left. I'll just spread this on here. Do a little bit of striping on here and see what we get here. All right, I'm going to do something. I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to just mix some up in my paint cup that I had the other in. Yeah, this is the black to gold. It's called Black Flash. Let's see what we get. I don't want to mix up a ton of this, so I'm just going to mix up a little bit. There's my pink stick. I don't know if this will do the flash since I've got the pink. Yeah, it's probably still going to do it. See what we get here. I don't know if this will be visible or not. Definitely going to get a different look, that's for sure, with that other pink on here. This is the another brush that's dying. I guess you get what you pay for. The flash is kind of hard to see on camera, but we might pick up a little of it. Probably would have done better if I, got a fresh cup. It's not like I have a shortage of them. I could have gotten, I just don't have another brush. This paste paper is one of those things you need to really knock out after a whole afternoon, not just an evening, to play. And if you could set it up to where you could set your paints, your papers, where they had breeze coming across them, where they could dry quicker, you could probably work faster and get more done. So as you add more layers and different waves and stuff, you'll get to where the paper in the background isn't as prevalent. Oops, that didn't work good. There we go. And we'll just let that dry. Log cabin pattern. There you go. It's sticking in the stuff on the page. But see, you get a different, you just have to keep layering it. Layering's the fun part on this, just like most other things. This was kind of that dull background, and it's pretty dry. I'll put the last of this on here. Probably should have run that to the kitchen. I'm just going to put some splotches of this here and there, and then use up the last of another color on it as well. That's the bad part. When you don't mix up a lot, you run out. This is extremely messy. So you must like getting messy to do this. Okay. And you can do, no, this is just plain yellow paint here. It doesn't color shift. While it's still like this way, you can come back across and do a little something else so you get a layered look. And then let that dry. And see how we're losing the scrapbook paper in the background with the layers of paint we're putting on top? But it's all about the layers, putting layers and layers and layers and layers on it. So let's use up what I've got mixed up, and I'm not going to mix up any more of this because I've got enough to clean up tonight. Let's stick these sponges down in there. So I've got a little green and a little of the other. All right. We can do that other green and maybe some of the blue on top of this one, or just the green. Yeah, Janet, if you'll answer Mary's question, that'd be awesome, because I have no experience using Yes Paste. I just use this faultless liquid laundry starch that you get at Walmart or the grocery store. Yes, I can, Lisa Slank. I'll put some of the flash down on a piece of white paper for you. I'll do that. Let me get a couple paint brushes. Let's see, I have 3 of that. Let's see. I had the blue in it too, but I used it all up already. Oh, that one won't do a swatch. It's the one that's got the one edge. The color shift paint is a ton of fun. That's all I can say. I'll do a little swatch each one on here. I'll just spread it out and we'll just let it dry. I don't have a lot of the black gold left either. I put it on my Christmas list and told my son, hint, 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 hint. Whoops, stuck to my finger. I've got so much stuff in this jug that it's not wanting to do. So that's pink flash, black fat flash, and red flash. Got out a lot of that one. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. We'll spread it out until it doesn't spread anymore here. And I'll just use this as the start of a painty paper. That's what I'll do. So it's not wasted, it's just repurposed. I've got some debris on here from something, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to dry it a little bit so you can see what it looks like dry. Oh, I love these things. Janet, Mary asked if you dilute the Yes Paste. Ruth, I had to, I bought some and sent it to Mary Hill one time. No, Mary, she does not dilute it. I just love this stuff. It makes a great accent color, a real highlight, the flash paint, the color shift paint. That might be dry enough that I can show you guys. See how it does? The red flashes to orange, kind of, in the light. And then there's the pink. It does kind of a lavender shift. The most beautiful one of these is the one that's an aquamarine. And there's the black to gold. See? See the gold flecks? It's just a lot of fun. Amazon does have it, but they have it in the large bottles, and I don't know if they will ship to Canada. That's what Mary Hill ran into, is she was having trouble getting it to into Canada. So I don't know if there's something in it that Canada doesn't like or what, but yeah, my favorites are the blue flash, and there's a green flash. Mary just goes, Janet, 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 until she gets an answer. She said, I am not going away, Janet, until you answer this question. All right, this is still too wet, so let me dry this a little bit more. Oh, Kathy Whitney, I'm sorry. She says she's out feeding the fishes. I hope that's not a mafioso term of feeding the fishes. Yes, we love our Mary. All of our Marys. All right. Where it's real thick, that's going to move when I put this other color down. But I want to get this down before, because there's not much left in these tubs. They're starting to dry up. And your paper will curl, and it'll curl like crazy. But like Barb tells you, you can iron it with a regular iron between some other pieces of paper, and you can flatten it right back out. That's what she told me I'd have to do, and that's what I did, and it worked. I just ironed them suckers flat. And then I cut them in half so I could share some and keep some, and then I think I ended up sending more out. I've been wanting to make more, but I knew I didn't want to mix up a whole bunch for tonight because I don't want to stay up all night making painty papers. I think it was 3 hours I worked with Barb, and then when she went off, it was back when she was coming on for Drama Free Fridays every week. After she went off, I worked on it again for another 3 hours. At that time, Scott was on days, so I had the whole afternoon to myself. Okay, I want to use this one. This is actually a cake decorator's thing. I think my children want to come back in too. I can just see them getting on the piles of stuff on the floor. And so I did a wide one to begin with. Now I did a skinny line, and the next one I'll do a wide line if I come back to these. But you can still see the wide line underneath, but it's more subdued now that I added this on. Why not? Scott might have an issue with me playing all night long when he's trying to sleep in the other room when he gets home at about midnight. Let me let the children in. Hi, baby. You ready to come in? Come on. I know. Tippy doesn't like to be out after it's dark. Come on, Callie. Howard. Howie. I'll just lock this door so Howie can let me know when he gets home. So we got just a little bit of green and blue. Trying to think, that's the one I just put down a little bit ago. This one might be dry enough. Ooh, Tippy, no, honey, not in the. Hi, baby. Mommy will get you green right now. Come on, go on. I can't hold you right now, boo-boo. You're such a spoiled little monster. All right, so I'm just going to squish this out here. Spread it out as far as it'll go. And then we'll dump the last of the blue on and go from there. My jar of holding my sponges and brushes is reached its capacity and then some. So this will be kind of a blue-green layer here. And you can see where some of the globs from the previous swipe about has broke loose and they're disappeared, but that's fine. You can tell this brush is destroyed anyway. But they are Dollar Tree multi-pack brushes. I didn't expect them to last, but I was hoping they'd at least get us through showing you guys how to do this. And this is all about the added layers. All right, we went diagonally that time. Tanya did a swirl earlier on hers, so we can do that. Where you just come up part way and then start turning. And then back down this way. Let's see if we can do a full circle. I'm not as good at it as she is. And just do a part. I'm not as good at that. That works, I guess. Tanya did Painty Papers on her gel plate. And her gel plate is so pretty and clean. So just think about like Afro picks. That's something Tanya was using earlier. You know, the picks for your hair. Those work good to do your designs too. Yeah, it does take practice. And I can bury that mess in another layer. So as long as I don't get cat butt prints in them, we'll be good. So that's what I had for y'all tonight. Oh, that's because it's brand spanking new, she says. So Lisa at Lisa's My Eclectic Life, she said she's going to go live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time to do her Painty Papers. Isn't that right, Lisa? And then I think Mary will be live. Is it 7:30, Mary? And that's Central Time too, isn't it? On Fridays. Do not get on that paper, boo-boo. Hi, boo-boo. I'm trying to get my hands clean so I can get you. You do not want to get up here on this table. It's covered in starch. Trying to wipe up some of that starch so he doesn't get in it. So if anybody else is going live, if you announce it in the chat section, everybody can try to catch you. Good night, Deborah. And I'm glad y'all had fun. We can join Lisa tomorrow for painting up. The only other thing is, do you all want to give me some prompts for the next Dirty Dozen? I can write them down, and then I can have my sticks ready for next Friday. Not Friday. Wednesday, next Wednesday. And we'll do our paper bag journal page next Wednesday too. But I figured we could do the paper bag journal page and then do another Dirty Dozen afterwards. Tanya says she's going to try to do a Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. And Mary does Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Central. I know I sit here on pins and needles till 8:30 my time. I'm like, oh, Mary's going to start, and I'm going to get busy doing something and miss her. I also, if y'all don't want to give me, add circles, Janet says. Janet's given me some. I'll get a piece of paper here and I'll start writing these down. If we come up with something I already have, I'll just substitute something else. That'll work. Now I'm all, ugh, that. I had a pen. There we go. So we need 12 prompts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can tell there's starch on the table. All right, let's see if I can find things. Add circles. I've been doing lots of circles tonight. Thanks, Linda. Use yellow. I know that's your chair, honey. Did your brother take your chair? Come here. Do not get on the stuff. No. You won't like it. You won't like it if you get on it, boo-boo. All right, let's see what else I've got. Bubble wrap. I get the starch off me in one place, and then I got it in my arm. Bubble wrap. Yeah, I know. The day ones are hard for people. Marcia says add splatter. Kelly says use glitter, and everybody in the audience says, not glitter. But you know what? I think I'm going to try to use up all my old glitter glues. I have so many of them. Of course, Mary says use a fine liner. And do you know I have some tips, but I don't have the bottles. Use a fine liner. I might have to come up with something. I could substitute liquid pearls. They're in a way I could do that. Honeycomb rubber thing. Use Teflon. It's a Teflon hot pad. And I'll just put honeycomb. They come in all different shapes too. Oh, I missed add numbers. Add numbers. This pen's about to die, wouldn't you know it? And then what was the other one? Pick 3 colors of paint. Pick 3 colors of paint. Oh, this sounds like it could be an interesting one. Because somebody else already said yellow. Janet says, no, glitter. Use tea or coffee stains. Use tea or, no. Don't do it. And a cat always goes faster when you're trying to chase them off from something. She's like, I'm going to step on that shower curtain of paper, of wet papers. I'm going to have to pick my brown paper up. It's just really sticky. All right, what else am I? I've got 2 more. Let's see. Use a stencil. Throw this pen in the trash and get another one. Let's see what else. Okay, red. This one's dead too. Dots with a pencil eraser. And Mary says, use newspaper or book paper. I'm going to keep writing them until this pen dies. Newspaper or book page, I think is what it said. I know what she meant. Use stamp. Use texture. And like I said, if this is something I already have a stick for, we'll just not add it. Do handwriting or scribble writing. That one's a good one. That one I don't think I have. Okay, I think that'll get us going for next Wednesday. That'll give me a good majority to pick from, assortment to pick from. So I think we'll have a lot of fun. Woo! Callie's got a cat toy going nuts. Ruth said finger paint. That's a good one. Uh-oh. I used a baby wipe. Now I can't get the lid off. Finger paint. She's going to knock my camera light over is what she's going to do. Come here, Callie. Everybody got to say hi to Tippy earlier. Do you want to say hi? Come here, girl. Excuse my wild hair. Y'all are just going to have to excuse my crazy hairdo. Hey. Come here, girl. Hey, Callie. Callie-licious. Come here, boo-boo. Come here. Come here. Hi. Princess. Come here. You were such a rotten thing. Come here, you pretty girl. Mama's wrapping up. I want you to say hi. I want you to say hi, everybody. Oh, okay. So, Kate, you do, yes, paste papers. I'm going to have to try to find, there you are. I'll have to go to your channel because I've never done that before. This is Callie. She's my troublemaker. She's the boss. She keeps the boys in the line, don't you? Say, I keep everybody run off that doesn't belong here. Everybody say, hi, Callie. Do you want to go outside? She said, yeah, because you won't let me get in the paint. You want to go outside? Come on. All right. Hi, Howard. Come. Howie goes to the doctor Friday for his shots. Everybody says, quit saying that because he'll hear. But this is Scott's baby. This is Howard. Say, am I on film? Am I in the camera, Mom? Look at you. Can you see yourself over there? This is Howie. Howie Wowie. He said, I just want to go to the kitchen for food. Then Tippy's in the chair right there. Okay. Oh, she's getting it now. All right. It's Kate the Skate. Let me see if I'm subscribed to you. No, I don't want to do all that. I'll have to find her afterwards because all it's given me is things I don't want to do. I don't want to report her or block her or any of that stuff. That's crazy. So guys, thanks for watching. I think I'm going to go and clean up my mess before Scott gets home. I've got about another hour though we could play, but I'm ugh. Oh, yes, paste does not mix well with acrylic finishes. Well, I'm going to have to go over to Kate's. Yeah, these chairs were Scott's aunt and all this furniture was Scott's aunt and uncle's that we're using while we're here, like the vintage sofa back there, the marble topped sofa. And there's a coffee table in the middle of the room that's got a big marble top. Man, that sucker's heavy when you have to move it to vacuum. Okay, I'll have to see if I can check into that. This is dried some more. Uh-oh, that didn't do too good. So you can see how the shimmering changes. You can see the orange and red. This is kind of a pink and purple. But my favorite is the black and gold, and then the, I call it mermaid paint because that's what it reminds me of. It's a blue, but it's not the dark blue, it's the aqua. So I will definitely have to check out Kate the Skate when I get off from here and learn how to do this stuff. But I'm going to let you guys go for this evening, and I'll catch up with you. Let's see. Thursday is Melissa's show, isn't it, in the evening? And Tanya, you said 2 o'clock your time tomorrow or 2:30? I should have wrote this down. But all I seem to have is things that are going empty. So if you'll post the times that y'all are going live in our group page, I will try to add everybody to the calendar. I can do that. And then if something happens, we can just do an announcement, canceled or rescheduled or whatever. Lisa is tomorrow. Oh, Lisa is tomorrow at 2. Okay, I'll see you at 2. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and I hope I made it look interesting to do the paste paper with the laundry starch. Okay? Bye-bye. Babies.